Hi, welcome pen friends. This is Tom with Goldspot Pens here to show you today the Online Switch Plus, which is a new pen that we're featuring from Germany that is a pretty affordable pen. It's catered towards the younger generation that is heavily into your electronics as well as being hopefully introduced to writing. So a little bit about Online. They are a German brand founded in 1991 by Thomas and Alexandra Bach. And their main goal as a company is their outreach in making sure that they get the younger generation involved in writing and passing down the tradition of the written word. With the Switch Plus, I think they really do have a good, solid chance of being able to do that with the younger, Twitter and Instagram generation. So to take a look here, we are going to unbox this guy, and then we're going to do some comparisons with another pen that looks very similar in the Lamy Safari, and then we'll do a little bit of a writing sample and give you our impressions of this pen. So it comes in a box that's very similar to the Safari box. If you could see here that there's a cutout. It's a very basic cardboard box. It slides open here to reveal the Switch Plus inside here, and it comes with a cartridge. And this cartridge may scare you a little bit. It looks like a proprietary cartridge, and it is. It's an Online cartridge that, believe it or not, most people who would be familiar with a Lamy pen would say, okay, the cartridge plugs in here and that's how you go. But this doesn't. It actually plugs in on this side. So it plugs in on the narrower side, and so you're thinking to yourself, okay, another fountain pen that I need to get a specific cartridge for. No, not such in this case, because you could actually use international size cartridges, which is what I have installed in the Switch Plus currently for this pen. So you don't have to worry necessarily about getting a specific online only type cartridge to be adaptable for this pen. Same thing with the converter. You could use any standard Schmidt K5 type converter, international converter, whatever it's usually called. I would usually recommend there's a Kaweco converter for the Dia. The larger size ones is a screw type converter. Works perfectly with this, snug fit and everything. So I have it installed right now. I've been writing with it. I wrote some of my notes here down with it. So if you look at this, and those of you who are familiar with fountain pens in general, this kind of reminds you of the Rotring Technor or the Core series, the ones that have a little bit of a fatter cap and then a tapered body. Or it also reminds you, of course, of the Lamy Safari, which it draws a very distinct similarity with because of a few design features, of course, being that wire clip is very distinctive. Also, the plastic construction, very similar as well. The grips on both of these pens, as you can see, has got the contoured sections, where the Lamy has the rounded section on the bottom. The Online Switch Plus actually has another indentation for the middle finger that comes underneath. So when you grip it underneath there, you do have like a little rest for that. The ink windows, the Safari has a cutout on both sides. The Online Switch Plus just has like kind of a plastic window that allows you to see what's inside here. In this case, a cartridge, or if you have a converter. We have steel nibs, both German-made steel nibs, and they're both cartridge converter fillers, and really affordable. So if you're looking for a starter fountain pen, you would be looking at either of these as a potential option. Where the Safari excels is essentially a lot of the same areas that the Online Switch Plus does. I mean, it's made in Germany pen. It has a solid construction. It's lightweight. It's not a pen that is expensive enough that if you lose it or break it, it's not going to be a heartbreaking deal where you're going to have to replace a very expensive pen. The Switch Plus actually does beat the Lamy in terms of price, because you have a $25 retail pen versus $37 retail pen. It also beats it in functionality too, because you have a capacitive touchscreen stylus, which works with your iPhone, iPad, any Galaxy Smart Touch Note. So you could use this in a lot of different applications, not just kind of selecting things, but also be able to draw, do a lot of artistic things on a touchscreen surface. And also too, is one of the biggest things that I think that a lot of people, especially fountain pen people, will appreciate, is the fact that you could use an international type cartridge or converter with the Switch Plus as opposed to the Lamy, you'd have to use only the LT10 cartridges or the LZ24 converter, which are proprietary, and you'd only have to get them from Lamy. So we're going to take a look at the Switch Plus and do a real bit of writing sample. We're going to take a look at some finer details here that after the comparison we're going to take a look at. The cap is made of like a rubberized sort of matted material, and so is the front section here. One of the things you might notice too is on the barrel there are kind of like little areas for your fingers to go. There's like a kind of like a matted sort of texture to the plastic that's here, which it kind of shows like this is how you're supposed to grip it. It makes it so that it's specifically meant to be a multifunctional pen as opposed to just kind of throwing the stylus on there as an afterthought. So let's take a look at this. This is a stainless steel nib, and this is the fine point. I've written with this already, so I'll just do a little bit of a writing sample here, and you get to see how this nib performs. Just did a little quick brown fox. Just doing some scribbles here. As you can see, the nib flow keeps up quite nicely, and this pen can be written with, I feel, probably best posted, because it give a little bit more weight, a little bit more balance to the pen, although I suppose you could certainly write with it, especially if you like a lighter feel. You could write with it without the cap post on the back end, but posting it is quite nice. Just writing with it a little bit quicker. Now, one thing I will say is that I feel that the nib has a little bit more feedback than, let's say, a typical Lamy nib would have. For some people, that might read as being scratchy. For me, though, I kind of see it as it just has a little bit more of a toothiness. Especially, this is a Clairefontaine paper that is traditionally smooth on any of the nibs that I like using it with, and kind of feeling that there's a little bit of that hint of feedback on a Clairefontaine paper, it means that the nib itself has a little bit more feedback, which is not bad to say. I mean, at least though, looking at how it writes, the ink flow does keep up quite nicely. Doesn't give me any hesitation or hard starting or any sort of issues with flow where there's ink starvation or anything like that. There is a slight bit of line variation when I put a little bit of pressure on the downstroke, as you can see there. So actually quite nice for something that is $20, you know, with our discount that we do is, you know, 25 retail, 20 sale price, and with the added benefit of the touch capacitive stylus, which I'll give you a demonstration on. You know, you really have a great 1-2 punch, especially for those kids that you can't get them off of these devices. They want to be on them all day long, and this bridges that need of needing tech time and also needing that analog time that just is very important to, especially the learning experience. I wanted to show you the ability for this to actually use it on a touchscreen. So I have an Apple iPhone here, and I have the Notes app open, so I just wanted to do a little bit of a demonstration of this here. Essentially, you could hold it the way that they instruct on here, but by putting your fingers on the grippy sections here and just kind of go to town. So we could do the same thing. So I have the little quick brown fox there. It responds quite nicely, and it has a nice little cushion at the stylus too, so you don't feel like you're actually damaging or doing anything wrong, you know, in terms of ruining the screen, anything like that. You know, it just has a very nice, comfortable feel, and it responds quite nicely on the screen here. So, you know, quite pleased with how this stylus does work out. I know a lot of other pens with styluses tend to fall a little bit short in this category because let's say they put the stylus on the cap and the cap's a little heavy, but this actually with the cap on feels pretty balanced, and I don't really have to worry so much about the pen kind of feeling a little bit wobbly or having to write with, let's say, the pen open or in a different way that would not really make sense to be writing with it. But this is quite comfortable to just be able to write or to draw using this stylus and still having the pen capped and having it be a cartridge converter system. You don't really have to worry about, let's say, the ink so much leaking out to the cap from kind of jostling it around, because you don't really have like a large ink capacity either. But overall, I mean, quite pleased with how this Switch Plus works. So we took a look at the online Switch Plus, which is a great everyday starter pen, great especially for the younger generation, bridges the digital divide between those that are strictly, you know, all about the tech and those that still appreciate analog writing tools. The Switch Plus, to give you an overall overview, comes in 5 different colors, of this being the petrol blue. Then they also have 3 different nib sizes, of which you saw a demonstration of the fine nib size. There's also medium, and there's also extra fine, German-made steel nibs. Also, one of the things that we touched on was the fact that it comes with the online ink cartridge to start with, does not come with a converter, but it can use a standard international converter or a standard international ink cartridge. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me directly, tom@goldspot.com, or you could contact us through our own website. We do have these available for sale. They are $25 MSRP. We do have them on sale for $19.95 currently. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment below and let us know how we're doing, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to continue to see new videos as we come out with them on a weekly basis. We're also doing some live things as well. We'll get in touch and we'll be able to talk some more pens and everything. So I hope that you guys tune in again, and stay inky, my friends. Take care.